Welcome back to Pioneer Disc Golf. I'm Mark. This video is the back nine of the Discmania Mystery Box Challenge. If you've not already watched the front nine, it's going to be linked right up here and it's also linked down in the description below. Quick recap if you don't want to watch that video. I shot a -2. Couple rules for the challenge. I'm only allowed to use the 9 discs that I got from the mystery box, and I have to take one of those discs off of each of the back 9 tees. I did pretty well on the front 9, however, the front 9 is way easier than the back 9. Back 9 is much more challenging. I don't think I'm going to do nearly as well, but it ought to be a pretty fun challenge, and I'm excited to bring you along with me. I totally plan on bringing a mini, however, I forgot one in my bag, so I'll be using this chalk bag as my mini for this round. Someone in the front 9 pointed out that it looked like I was foot faulting, so I don't want any competitive advantage. I want to make this challenge as legit as possible, so I'll be using this as my mini the entire round. All right, so hole 10 is pretty straightforward. Going to be a par 3, 341 feet. It does kind of go uphill, but then it plateaus a little bit and then actually goes slightly more downhill. But I'm going to need to throw something really far. I guess I'm going to have to go ahead and immediately take the DD1 Stratosphere off the tee, which means I can't use the DD1 Stratosphere off the tee anymore for the rest of this challenge. Big thing I want to try to do is make sure that I don't throw nose up. I'm going to try to lock my wrist down, keep the angle of the release all the way through the throw. Tried to take a little bit more of an athletic run up too, and I think that helped a lot. Let's go see where that landed. Just threw on the gloves, quick temperature check. It is about 30 degrees right now. It's about noon, little afternoon. Nice day though, not gonna lie. These conditions right now are my ideal disc golf conditions. Now, that might sound weird. I feel like the typical ideal conditions are like 1, no wind, 2, like 65, 70 degrees, sunny. I don't know, it's just kind of boring, it's kind of bland, it's kind of plain. I like when the conditions are a little bit more tough. I feel like it's kind of like an adventure. This is Pioneer Disc Golf. I'm from Kentucky. I love the outdoors, I love everything outdoors. I don't know, it's just like perfect conditions to play disc golf in. Comment below what you think the perfect conditions are for you when you play disc golf. I'm interested to see what you guys think. All right, this is a really solid drive for me. I'd say I still have 45 feet to go. Like I said, throwing uphill, that was definitely a full flight that I can get out of the Stratosphere. I think that I did pretty good on that. Gonna go with a link for a jump putt. Most likely just lay this up and tap in a par. Behind the basket does start to get more downhill, and I don't want to have a roll away. Don't want to take a bogey on a wide open easy hole. Mini. All right, so yeah, if the rest of the round can't throw the DD1 off the tee anymore, I can throw it any other time. I can throw it like for my second or third shot if I ever need it, but just can't take it off the tee. It's actually really windy. I'm a little bit nervous for this putt. Wish I'd gotten a little bit closer. Nailed it. Easy par. All right, sitting at -2 through 10 on to hole 11. Gonna be actually identical, another 341 foot par 3. A little bit different though. Right off the tee, you've got this little hill to your right to deal with, but then after you get past that, it's pretty much wide open and you need to get slightly right. If you throw a backhand and hyzer it out a little early, you're gonna leave yourself with a lot of work to get up and down for your 3. So ideally you throw something a little bit more flippy and get some good turn out of it, or if you have a big crushing forehand, you can do that. I threw the Majesty really well on a forehand line yesterday and actually got a birdie on hole 6. So I'm gonna try that again. I'm gonna try to throw it on a hyzer, try to get past that little hill, stay on a hyzer, maybe flip up a little bit, and then into the right, close-ish towards the basket. 0% chance I can get this anywhere near the circle, but I'd love to be able to get about 250 feet off the tee and then leave like a 100-foot little chip shot approach to get a par. So hole 10 and 11 are the only 2 open holes on the back 9. So it's good that I've already got 2 of my 3 distance drivers out of the way. I still have to throw my cloud breaker, but I think I know what hole I'm gonna throw it on. Coming up on my lie, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted. I knew I didn't really have a chance getting it there all the way, but got relatively close. Good thing about this pin placement is there's a hill right behind it. So you can basically just throw a disc right into the hill. It's probably not gonna roll down too much unless you catch a crazy angle, and then you can just tap in for par. Or you could throw it in. Little headwind. Gave it basically the right height, but yeah, just a little bit to the right. So like I said, hill right there. Let's go tap in for par. Putts feel a little bit more nerve-wracking for whatever reason today. Not sure, I guess it's just being an open space and having a little bit of work left to do. I don't know, a little bit nervous. just kind of felt it. Just didn't feel right from the get-go. Sometimes when you think about putts, messes with you. One really sucks, especially considering I loved my drive and I played it the exact way I wanted to. Just left myself a little bit more work to do, and on my way walking up there, might have thought about it a little bit too much, and that's the story. So that's a bogey. Unfortunate, drops my round score to -1, and what's worse is I'm about to go to the toughest stretch on the course. But that's part of disc golf. I mean, no one's perfect. I'm for sure not perfect. I typically pride myself on pretty solid putting, but some days you just don't feel great. I don't know. I'm a little tired. I don't know. I could think of a million excuses. I missed the putt. Let's go on right back here on hole 12. All right, hole 12 is really cool. Super short, but super technical. 190 feet. Basically get through that initial gap. Don't hit that big fat tree. Don't hit that smaller tree on the left. But then you got to get a little bit right and then actually come back a little bit left. So if you have something relatively overstable, you can throw it on a nice anhyzer backhand line, let it kind of go off to the right and then actually end up fading back left. That's your best way to get a 2 on this hole. I think the best bet that I'm going to have to get a 2 is going to be the tactic on a backhand line. Also, it's warming up a little bit. Made it through my initial gap, but not enough turn on it at all. Kind of got, you know, a little bit of my similar issue of not following through all the way. Hit a tree about halfway down the fairway. I think it'll be easy work to get up and down for par though. Yeah, still a few trees in the way, so I'm gonna throw my tactic again. Backhand, try to push up to the green. Hopefully get close so I don't have to putt. No putt required for that one. I'm telling you guys, woods golf is where it's at. I'd much rather play a course like this over a wide open bomber course any day. I think wide open courses are so boring. I think when they play tournaments on the Disc Golf Pro Tour at like old golf courses that they've turned into disc golf courses, it's just incredibly boring to watch. And I know it's cool to see someone throw 600 feet or a roller that goes like 700 feet, but I'll always be more impressed with someone just lacing lines in a wooded course. I just think it's so much cooler to see. All right, before we start hole 13, just a quick recap where we're at. I've already taken the tactic, the majesty, and the DD1 off the tee. Current round score, I'm at -1. On the back nine, I'm +1. Also, again, just so I get to know you guys a little bit better, people who are watching my videos, people who subscribe, let me know what kind of course that you'd prefer to play on. Do you like wide open courses, or do you like wooded courses, or do you like just a nice combination of both? The first video I ever put on this channel was me playing a round at a course called the Claytons in Knoxville, Tennessee. I gotta admit, that was a really cool course because the front nine was basically all technical and wooded, and then the back nine was pretty much all open. So regardless of what kind of player you are, you kind of had a good combination of both. All right, got enough of break-in. Let's go ahead and move on to hole 13. All right, guys, you all are in for a treat. This is probably my favorite hole in all of disc golf. I played a lot of holes. I've played a lot of courses over my 6 years of playing, and I can't think of a more awesome tee shot than this one. Basically, you've got a dead straight tunnel that you got to get forward and penetrate through, and then you need to turn off to the right and then basically park the brakes and get down right there. Sometimes the pin location is a little bit further back and you need to actually flex out and in a little bit deeper in that little area back there. But right now, it's in the short pin. 302 feet, par 3. Let's get it. Gonna try my origin, gonna keep it flat, hopefully get a little bit of turn off to the right, and then land softly. Turn, turn. Oh, a little bit too straight. Really good flight, but I just didn't get any turn out of that. That should still be okay for the 3, but I think it took 2 out of it. Not getting any turn, not getting over there to the right side of the green, probably took birdie out of the question. But again, I'll say it for the 10th time in this little series, love that origin. That is such a nice flying disc. I could have thrown it a little bit more in an anhyzer and forced the turn out a little bit more, but I mean, the way I released it, that disc just went dead straight. And having a disc that can do that or hold a turn if you throw it the right way, nice disc to have. As we walk up, there's a basket. You might be able to see my disc over there a little bit off to the left, kind of hit a root and stuck down. Yeah, probably outside the circle, like 38 feet, 40 feet. Not awful. Saved a 3. Not bad on the hole 14. All right, so as we walk up to hole 14, just again to clear things up with my disc golf experience and the reason for this channel. I'm a recreational player. My current official PDGA rating is, I think, 884, but I haven't played a rated round since 2021. And I think I have gotten better since then. My technique hasn't, but again, I can still score well on courses, even with relatively poor technique. But I eventually want to be able to get to the point with my game where I can compete in the MPO division. Not sure how long that's going to take, probably a couple years I would have to guess. I've developed so many bad habits from playing incorrectly for so long, they're going to be really hard to fix. But I'll be making a ton of content focused on fixing my technique and also entertaining you guys in the process. All right, let's play hole 14. So now you can see Veterans Park really starting to show how tough of a course it is. This is a 311-foot par 3, super narrow gap to hit, dead straight. It's not dead straight because dead straight from the tee box there is a skinny little tree, so you need to be able to get off a little bit to the left and then finish a little bit to the right. And I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to throw. I'm thinking the Taylor makes a lot of sense here. A 4401 mid-range. It's the Discmania new mid-range. Keep it flat, get a little bit left, and I don't know, hopefully just land clean. I'd love to have a open run-up for my second to be able to try to push the green and get a par. I would love that. Terrible throw. What a kick. That's amazing. I'm dead center of the fairway. I don't know if you could tell on that run up, but I try to incorporate some of those tips that you guys told me about. I try to run up with a more athletic stance, try to keep the weight on my back foot a little bit longer. Maybe in the middle of the round is not the best time to try to incorporate technique changes, but hey, it ended up working out. Definitely shanked the drive a bit, but ridiculously favorable kick. Also with the sun out, it's warmed up like 10 degrees, so all of a sudden, I feel overdressed. All right, there's my lie. There's the basket. Got a really favorable kick out of the woods. Probably got about 100 feet to go. I'm gonna try a link on a backhand, trying to get through that gap, slide up there. There's a couple trees around the basket that I want to avoid. Make sure that even if I'm like 15, 20 feet out, that I still have a wide open putt and I don't have a big, huge tree right in my way. Oh. Oh. And that was crushed a little bit deep. And I think I have a tree in my way too. Not great. Looks like saving the 3 on this hole is going to come down to if I can make a putt or not. Let's see what I got. That's definitely not great. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty far back there, at least 25 feet, if not more. No cuts. Let's go make a putt. Airballed that one. No big deal. Took another bogey, but I'm still even. And again, I played a tournament here back in June or July or August something, 2021, and I shot a +8. So if I beat that with brand new discs that I've never even thrown before, I'll be pretty happy. All right, so I should have taken a par in that hole, but due to a poor upshot and a poor putt, took a bogey. But it's no issue. You got to keep playing, got to keep grinding. Hole 15. This is probably the hardest hole on the course. It is 571 feet. It is a par 4, finally. This is the only par 4 in the entire course. Basically, the play is to get really, really, really far forward. Stay in the fairway. Do not get off left. If you get off left, you will be pinched off for your second and even potentially your third because you're going to be basically just pitching out. You've got to stay to the right side of the fairway at all costs. Also, there is a creek down there to the left. I'm not sure if that's OB. If I had to guess, I would say yes. Typically a creek running through a hole that's not really dead center of the fairway, that's kind of off to the side. Typically stuff like that is out of bounds. For the sake of the video, I will be playing it as OB. Now the only 4 discs that I have left to throw off the tee are the FD, the MD3, the Cloudbreaker, and the Link. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is take the MD3, put it on a little anhyzer, push about 200 feet up the fairway, not really trying to chew off that much distance at all, and just land off to that right, kind of where the hill starts to go up just a little bit. I was focused on a bunch of other things for the technique of my throw, and I ended up making a classic rookie mistake of not locking in the wrist into place and throwing it a little bit nose up. But I actually did end up not too far left, so it wasn't too bad. All right, there's my lie. I need to get it to that little gap pretty far forward. So I'm gonna actually throw my origin. That looked really solid, I'll take that. Okay, there's the lie, ended up really great. I'm definitely thrilled with that. Basket's up there, one issue, treacherous green. Off to the left is where that creek is, a little bit deep, the creek again. A lot of trees to the right side. There's a obvious gap to hit. Just because there's a gap doesn't mean it's easy to hit. I'm trying to actually throw a Taylor on a forehand. I haven't tried this before. See how it goes. That'll work. All right, that was a great upshot. Really thrilled with that result. Let's make sure you're in frame. You can see the disc and the basket. I leave all this stuff in, guys, by the way, to make sure I'm not just, you know, to you guys watching, that I'm not just cutting out. Like, I could step up that putt, totally miss it, and then cut it. I'm good at editing videos. I could absolutely do that. But that's not the point of this channel. So I leave stuff like this in there for that reason, in case you're wondering. Well, for real, can you see all those? God, it's so bright out here. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I know this is not good content, but gotta be legit as possible. All right, to save par. All right, after taking a par on hole 15, which I'm thrilled about, moving on hole 16, getting close to the end, 3 more holes to go. I still have to throw FD, the Cloudbreaker, and the Taylor off the tee. Hole 16, 472, another par 3. This also might be the hardest hole on the course because it's a par 3, 472. Who is getting a disc 450 plus feet down the fairway and getting a 2 on this hole? Who's an average, normal, non-professional player. Sure, it's not gonna be me, so I'm just trying to get a 3 on this. I think I'm gonna take my FD and try to actually, the drone through the middle gap, but I'm gonna try to go over to that left gap a little bit, throw it on the backhand, try to get to that left gap, and set up an easy approach for the 3. Awful. Right, that was a really bad throw. It looks like an early release or something. I'll have to review and see what that looked like on film. There's the lie. I do still have a gap, so I can try a forehand. Maybe that Taylor again. I just threw a really nice forehand line with that. Let's try it. Another thing to note, the Taylor is also a legit disc. I love the Taylor and I love the Origin. I think a video that I want to do coming up pretty soon is like an in the bag, and I'll basically just take my normal discs and I'll play through a course, maybe Jacobson or somewhere else, and I'll just kind of talk about every disc that I have in my bag. I don't just want to sit there and open up my discs and just go through them. I think it's a little bit boring, so I'll do more so a playing a course, and I'll go through all the discs that I have in my bag. Also, the Taylor and the Origin might be finding their way into my bag, along with the Tactic. I like that disc. All right, again, I'm gonna leave this stuff like this in there, even though I know it's a little bit boring. Just makes it more authentic, makes it more real. This is for par. Still even. 2 more holes to go. My goal is to stay at even. I don't know if I can birdie any of these last 2 holes with the 2 discs that I have remaining off the tee, the Cloudbreaker and the Link, but I'd love to just get par and par. So hole 17, 315 feet, very straight, and I gotta go Cloudbreaker. I think I can try to really get it up there, leave a nice little wide open approach, take my 3, move on to 18. Awful. Middle of the fairway though. Okay, really terrible drive. It is what it is. I just can't throw a cloud breaker like that through a narrow gap. Tough throw. There's the lie. There's the basket pretty far up there to the right, but there is a nice little open gap over here to the left. I'm gonna try an MD3 and a forehand, try to get through the open gap and set up at least a circle 1 putt. Or it's happened. Seems like one of the best parts of my game is a chip shot forehand. I think I tend to execute those pretty well. Which shots like that can absolutely save you strokes, especially on a wooded course. I guess anywhere, but if you're able to get up and down off a terrible drive on a par 3 and still have a really nice, easy tap-in putt, then that means your drive isn't as important. Now, of course, if you're trying to score birdies and actually win tournaments, well, you're gonna need to get birdies. But if you're just trying to score decent rounds overall, then having a shot like that can really be effective. So you can see where I landed. Really good. One more hole to go. All right, made it. Last hole on the course, hole 18. I'm still even somehow. I've taken 2 bogeys and all pars on this back 9, which is not that bad. I expected maybe a double in there or maybe another bogey or 2, but played a little bit better than I thought it would. But let's finish strong. Hole 18, 201 feet, right up there, top of the hill. You gotta go up a decent amount, and there's a couple little gaps to get through. The only disc that I have left to throw off the tee is the link. If I can chew off about 125 to 150 feet of that, I'll be pretty happy. Last drive of the round. That was about as good a drive as I normally throw. I think typically on this hole, if I want to try to get a birdie on it, I would throw a fairway driver that's understable like my Vandal. So to get a link pretty far up there, kind of tells you everything you need to know about my technique. I'm throwing putters basically just as far as I'm throwing fairway drivers. Maybe I don't need that fairway driver. All right, there's a lie. There's basket, probably 40 feet uphill. One more jump putt to go. Maybe I can birdie it. Oh, too high. Skied a little bit. Had a great time filming this video, super fun. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support that I've already gotten. I just started this, I think I uploaded my first video on this channel December 1st, so barely over 2 weeks, I'm well over 100 subscribers. Y'all are awesome, thank you so much. I love this disc golf community. All right guys, couple things to note from this challenge. One, Discmania makes really, really good discs. I'd say by far my favorite is gonna be the Origin. Love that disc, definitely making its way into my bag. Next, the Taylor, really good disc. Link's an okay putter, although it's not gonna take place of the P2s that I already have been throwing for like 5 years. Gonna be sticking with those. MD3 is good, I already throw one. This one, I don't think it'll take place of the other one. The other one I haven't beaten it in enough just yet, but this is still a nice backup option to have in case I lose that other one. FD, I'll keep it as backup. I like the stamp of it. Cloud breaker, I'm not gonna get much use out of it. A little bit too much speed for me. Maybe as my technique develops over the next year or so, I can get more use out of it, but right now, I don't know. Probably just be a disc that I hold on to. Tactic, excellent approach disc. Definitely gonna be bagging this one. Really big fan. Majesty, I have no use for it. Definitely not a disc I ever see myself throwing in any round. Then last but not least, the Stratosphere. Huge fan of this disc. I don't know if it's gonna take place in my Wraith, but maybe I'll do a little challenge where I compare the two to each other. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. If you haven't already done so, be sure to tap the thumbs up button. Also be sure to subscribe. If you wanna watch my first ever video on this channel, watch me play the Claytons. Here's the front 9, here's the back 9. All right, see you guys next time.